Once again, from a secret, undisclosed location, hidden somewhere deep in the bowels, the downtown bowels of St. John's, Newfoundland, comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, Wallace Ryan, and my special guest, Sam Johnston.
Hello, psychophants.
How's it going? Sam, of course, you're my go-to guy when it comes to Disney. I mean, I'd known some Disney stuff and all that over the years, but you're a man who knows, you're really steeped in the whole Disney thing, because I mean, you talk about things that I never even heard of before, right?
Yeah, it's I just say, like, I always liked Disney cartoons as a kid. I preferred Looney Tunes, of course, because they were funnier, but I always had like a small attachment to Donald Duck because he was just completely unrestrained character who just completely let out all of his emotions, and somebody who's who always has trouble managing their emotions, the Asperger's and all. I just kind of adored Donald. They had basically no limits.
Yes.
So when I would go to afterwards, the early 90s, they mostly had Gold Key and Whitman for sale.
Yeah.
I'd usually go for a Donald Duck or a Scrooge because I was most familiar with them, and the Bugs Bunny and the Woody Woodpecker stuff was usually pretty bland. And I'm not quite sure if it was the first one I read, but they had a reprint of an Uncle Scrooge story by Carl Barks.
Oh, okay.
It was probably the Micro Ducks from Outer Space. And I just kind of like the novelty of this millionaire. For some reason, I've always liked greedy bastard characters.
and he is the greediest and bastardy most
well, like Mr. Burns, he actually has a heart, but...
Yeah, that's quite true, actually, even though he doesn't like people to see it. Right?
Yeah, I think I always kind of pictured that he does donate to charity, but anonymously, so
okay,
knows.
Yeah, I like that. I can see that, though, too, right?
Yeah, but I just kind of like the social satire of it. I think I just kept on collecting what I could over time.
Yeah.
Let me see if I've got it here. I actually have this old little, it's actually published by Archie, but this little digest of Uncle Scrooge Goes to Disneyland, and there is a little story there of his time as a riverboater.
Oh, I'll do a close-up here, Oh yeah, I like the... Geez, this one is fairly old too, isn't it, from the look of it?
Oh yeah, it might be it's probably published in the 50s, but that's like an 80s reprint or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just kind of like these little adventures, like they had a bit of social satire, kind of like little factual science bits, goofy but never really malicious villains, like...
Yeah.
Like the Beagle Boys are out to steal his gold, but that's it.
Yeah.
They're not willing to shoot him up.
Yeah.
And Magica Dispel is trying to steal his #1 dime, but it's just so she can be super rich, not like completely powerful.
Yeah. I like that part of it too. They're bad, but they're not evil per se, right?
Now there's always like a few bad apples. Like one of the best original Karl Barks stories is Ancient Persia, and it features a human villain who wants to use this powerful elixir to reduce all human people to dust. And be supreme master of the world. It's actually a pretty scary story in parts.
Jeez, yeah, it sounds a little bit scarier than what I'm used to reading, at least, right?
And sometimes Slinthard Globgold or Rocker Duck will shade up the nephews and that and pull a gun out, but they never go through with it in the end.
Now when you were, as you were growing up, I always talked on the show about how the life and times of Scrooge McDuck was what got me involved. Now you were into, was it around that time or after? Just slightly?
I think about 12 years ago or so, I was in a certain rival store.
Okay.
And I still like cartoons and that, and I still like Donald Duck and such. It's just when you're a teenager, you pretend not to like it.
Yeah,
but thankfully, a few years later, find out like, people around my age or older still love Pokemon and My Little Pony, so I guess it's safe to like Donald Duck again.
Well, yeah, I had the same problem too with some people who'd be like, you read Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge. It's just like, Yeah, but they're great stories, right? It's, you know.
Yeah, and I found a copy of Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck rather cheap, and I just picked it up out of curiosity. I never seen a print ad for it during the Gladstone years.
Yeah.
And I picked it up. It was just like, this is a movie, or really a TV miniseries. It is a legend, an urban, a great big folk tale of this American legend. Well, he's originally from Scotland.
Yeah.
It was so much more dramatic than I ever expected from a Duck comic. Like, this character goes through some real struggles.
Yeah.
He grows up completely poor with a battered family name. He spends everything, spends time away from the family he loves to go to this land of opportunities. He starts to become grim and bitter over the years. And then, gosh, one of the best moments in that book is when he's chained up. One of the villains reads out his mother's last letter to him.
Okay.
Kind of hinting that she passed away. And Scrooge just suddenly goes bug nuts, tearing apart the ship with his bare hands.
Oh, yes.
In a completely murderous rage.
Yes.
And it ends with him practically disowning his family.
Yeah.
Kicking his sisters out because he thinks they're freeloaders at this point, and then begrudgingly inviting his nephews over for dinner, realizing, there's more to this than cold, hard cash.
Yeah.
It's just like, and Disney is so protective of these characters in the cartoons and such, they're not allowed to really get aggressive or too emotional.
Yeah.
I thought, I can't believe this is a thing.
Yeah, and the whole relationship with Goldie and...
Yes, and like they had the Duck... I watched the DuckTales cartoon on occasion. It's okay, not the best adaptation. Yeah. It was a little sentimental, but it never got really dramatic or dark at all. So it was completely new territory for me.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's funny because that was my entrance point. But I mean, you've really delved far deeper into that than because I was still just at that stage and getting into the Karl Barks stuff. I some of it I'd read as a kid, but I couldn't remember it. But when they started putting out the archives from Fantagraphics, and then the same with the Don Rosa library. Now I did buy the Life and Times as the I think it was the Boom editions or whatever.
Oh, you shouldn't have got those. He never got royalties for
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Okay, kids, if you're watching this at home, please just buy the Fantagraphics editions. Yeah. Or the original Gladstone ones.
Now I do
Boom never really paid their artists really well. There was a lot of dirty interior conflict. So.
Now I do like the recent Fantagraphics 2-volume set, which I had to get, even though I had it already or whatever. It was just they just look so nice, right?
Yeah, it's a nice looking set. It's just like repackaged to be in completely chronological order.
Yeah.
That's what we should point out is that the original series was published just 12 issues, and then Mr. Rosa did a few side stories in between tales of young Scrooge managing his wealth.
And usually you'd get the part 1, part 2, and then the companion, as they called it.
Yeah, you'd have stuff like Chapter 3C or 4A and things like that. So.
Yeah. So now I know, of course, you moved on into the Europeans, because that's one thing that you definitely have that I never knew much about was the European end of the Disney Empire and the Duck world and that.
Yes, one thing we'd like to point out is that Disney comics are completely huge overseas, particularly in Italy, Finland, the Netherlands, Norway. It just goes on, Sweden.
Yeah.
And it's been going that way for 70 years non-stop, while American publications have been pretty sparse since the 90s. I don't think we've had any original Duck stories since then, and most of those artists are working completely without any sort of real full-on restrictions from the head offices at Disney. They can go a little bit farther, can get a little dark, a little edgier, but no real violence or gore or sex or such.
Yeah.
Although some of the artists do try to draw their duck girls pretty skimpy.
Yeah.
Now, if I'd have available printer on hand, I'd love to show you good folks some of Karl Barks's Duck Smut from the 70s. But, okay.
But so the first time I became familiar with any of them was the Disney Masters, right?
Yes.
But how'd you get into the European stuff? Like, where'd you first find them or whatever? I was curious about that.
Well, I honestly, after I got Life and Times, I pretty much picked up anything else that Gladstone had published of Barks and Rosa. And eventually I trade those in once Fantagraphics started doing their own editions. And I noticed that of all these sort of European names, I felt I had to get more because I'm just so curious. Like, I'd read little stuff in the guidelines and intros of these artists who were completely new to me.
Yeah.
And, like, unfortunately, last time I was in Italy, I wasn't into duck comics at that time, and they're practically everywhere in the newsagents and stores over there.
Yeah.
Topolino, that's Italian for Mickey Mouse, has been going non-stop since the 1940s. We even kept publishing during the coronavirus. Not even Mussolini could stop Topolino because his niece loved Mickey Mouse too much. So usually when somebody goes overseas, I ask them if they could just pick up a nice duck comic for me. And
whatever they see or...
And sometimes I find some odd ones around town, like I found a German one in one of Downtown Comics' dollar bins.
Oh, go away.
Yeah, I couldn't find it at the moment, but maybe for a future episode.
Yeah.
So we've got Donald Duck & Co. from Norway, July 2010.
Oh, yeah.
Got a little Brer Rabbit story to back, and an L. Hubbard story with Feathery Duck. That's Donald's beatnik cousin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's Masters of that guy coming out soon.
Yeah, I seen him. I was going to say I'd seen him somewhere. I think it was you who showed me it, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get up just to show the folks. I do kind of like his beatnik. But yeah, okay. And the format is.
Yeah, because
that's
the normal format. It's always been like Donald Duck and Brer Rabbit story in the back. It's been going.
But the
yeah, kind of reminds me of the Lupo Alberta ones from Italy.
yeah, it's the landscape rather than portrait too is kind of strange, right?
Yes.
For us Americans anyway, right?
Right.
Okay.
Let's see, we've got Disney Comics from Argentina.
Wow. Okay, let me see that.
More modern stuff.
Okay. Hold it up close. A lot of times, there you go, yeah. A lot of people always ask me, hold that closer, would you? But yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay.
Okay, we've got one of my many issues of Topolino from Italy.
Oh, yeah. This, I like there too, yeah.
I always love these large digest ones because I feel you get plenty of bang for your buck. They have
Jeez, I'll say.
usually a fair sense of variety.
Yeah.
I'm quite fond of the modern duck artist myself.
Yeah, I like the style. And I'm just starting to get used to the different styles and that, right?
We've got Mickey Parade from France and one of the Mickey Mouse Adventure digests from Gemstone. I always kind of like these ones. Like, they were $8, but you usually get 3 large adventure stories. And, well, as you can see, I always do like a cover of Mickey Mouse about to beat somebody up.
Now, these with the Gemstone ones, would they have European stories in them too? Or?
Yes, basically they made a real emphasis on showcasing European artists like Romano Scarpa. Forgive me if I do any mispronunciations. Like
well, I'm always mispronouncing when I'm
Marco Rota, Vicar, Saloni, Cavadazzo. Plenty of artists that come to mind.
Yeah.
Good stuff though, and yeah, it was just like they've always got such a good sense of life to them. I'm not really a fan of the American publications beyond after Barks. Like, you got guys like Paul Murray or Dick Moores who are just like doing very generic mystery stories. It's not to my taste.
Yeah.
And these, as you can see from these European ones, they're so full of life and satire.
Yeah.
It just blows the other things out of the water.
Well, I noticed that when reading some of the Masters ones, that it's just like, wow, these are just like slam bang, full of energy and
Yeah.
it was like when first reading those the Mickey's Craziest Adventure and that type of stuff. It just blew my mind. It was just like, wow, this is really frenetic, right?
Yeah, I love these Disney Masters. This one's King of the Golden River by Giovanni Battista Carpi.
Okay.
It's good satirical stuff, and this guy does the ultimate bastard Scrooge.
Oh, okay.
One who will gladly leave his nephews to drown while he makes off with a head flush of gold.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now let's see just to have a quick look. But yeah, it's interesting too. I'm just starting to get used to the style of the ducks and all that, and being able to tell who did what type of thing, right? You know, being able to recognize Scarpa and these. So it's
Yeah. Everybody's got their little distinguished feature. Not everyone hits, and not every story is strong, particularly strong. But
yeah.
it's just the fact that they're working completely out of Disney's thumbs.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching them at all.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they'd like. And thankfully, while authorizing all these new Masters editions from Fantagraphics, they've been left completely uncensored.
Yeah. Which is good.
And particularly when you look at the first Gottfredson volume, Mickey Mouse, they kept in the original week of suicide strips.
Okay, yeah.
Where Mickey gets scored by Minnie and tries to blow his head off or drown himself and things like that. Something you would absolutely never see, not even those crazy new cartoons.
Yeah. I bought those because I can remember you talking about them when they first came out, and I started buying them and ended up buying the entire set, and I'm still working my way through them, but
They're just like, they've got a nice sort of Ren and Stimpy energy to them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they didn't get made.
Yeah, because Mickey, I always liked the drawing of Mickey, but those were some of the first Mickey cartoons or comic strips I actually read.
Yes.
From when I was, I know I read some of them when I was a kid, but I can't remember those, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, they're a nice change. I also love the new Three Caballeros cartoon. That's quite fun. And that's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Watch it, please, so we can get season 2 through 6, because the creator has plenty of material on hand. And the new DuckTales I like. I don't really think of it much of as adaptation, because there's a lot in there that would piss me off as a fan. But
yeah,
as a kid's thing, it is quite funny.
Okay. I haven't watched those myself now.
No, I quite like the idea of David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck. He does a pretty good job.
Now I do like. I've been watching the Disney, the Mickey Mouse ones, the more recent one.
Yeah.
And that's pretty wild, right? Especially the first episode in France, and that is just out of control, right?
Oh yeah, the episode where he can't say no to anybody is worth a watch.
Okay. Now this is personally one of my favorites too.
Yes, this is a series Disney by Giant, which is by a trio series of Belgian artists. They're trying to bring the Belgian deadpan, off-the-wall sensibility to Disney comics. And they're allowed to go a little off-model, larger album format.
Mm.
And unfortunately, only 2 of the series have been translated to English so far, and we don't know if there'll ever be any more. But this was a great album for them to start off, because it is kind of a nice deconstruction of the typical Duck and Mouse adventure, kind of questioning the whole motives. And there's missing chapters, there's missing pages. There's a piece where it looks like parts of the page have been ripped off.
Yeah, you can even see coffee stains and stuff like that. That's what I loved about this story in particular, was you could follow that even though there were missing pages per se. It just, and I like the whole thing of these are some missing comics, even making up the cover and stuff like that. But this one's incredible. Right?
Yes. Yeah, there is a sequel, Dawn of the Search for Happiness, so I'm crossing my fingers we'll get an English version of that.
Yeah,
Or,
I hope so. I hope so, yeah.
If not, once we are allowed to travel again, I'll mind going to France and picking up some more.
Okay, I'm going to show this. Get close. But this one, this has to be one of my favorites too. But I like the whole idea of just the story idea of jumping from chapter to chapter with some missing stuff, and yet the story still continues, and you don't get lost at all.
No, yeah, it's just I've always liked those Tron type stuff. So for him to do his usual deadpan satirical take on the Disney characters was quite impressive.
Yeah, I like the size too. It's a nice size, right?
Yeah, there's another one, Mysterious Melody, which is quite nice, but it sticks more to the classic style 1920s Mickey.
Okay, yeah, I got that too. That's right. Yeah, I like that.
Let's see, still have time.
Yeah.
I also thought I'd show off the Darkwing Duck Omnibus by
Okay.
Joe Books, which is kind of a semi-remastering of the Boom series from about 10 years or so.
Okay, I never read any of those myself.
Well, I always liked Darkwing Duck as a kid because he was the first superhero parody I was exposed to.
Okay.
And I quite liked the character because he wasn't terribly heroic. He had a huge chip on his shoulder. He had great big ego. He wasn't respected by the public at all, and sometimes the stories ended with him accidentally letting the bad guy get away. So,
Okay.
and now that I've grown up and I'm a big fan of the Shadow, I kind of like the look of the character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He always did have that shadow-esque feel to it.
Well, yeah, the hat, the cape, the huge beak, the ego, both willing to kill. So this is kind of like a remastering of the original 16-issue series with new dialogue and kind of like a more resolved epilogue than the original series had. It's definitely meant more for fans of the cartoon, but for anyone out there who loved the original Darkwing cartoon, you'll surely like this.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I'd like to.
Yeah, if that was in hardcover, I'm sure you'd pick it up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. The who did the? Oh, okay.
James Silvani drew it, and I think Aaron Sparrow did the rewording.
Okay.
There's a short-lived Darkwing series that came after that, Joe Books, but unfortunately they went out of business right after that. So here's hoping. So if anybody watching this video works with IDW, we please beg of you to pick up Darkwing Duck again.
Hear that, Curtis? I know Curtis, who works at the Library of American Comics, watches us.
Let's see. We got an issue of the Duck Avenger, kind of inspired by 90s superhero comics.
Oh yeah, this is a more recent one, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of like it's kind of like Donald in a more futuristic version of Duckburg. He kind of hacks into a millionaire's futuristic tower, hooks up with an AI partner, and does battle with these genocidal aliens from another planet. It's actually quite different, and it is definitely superhero inspired. Like Donald's got his own J.J. Jameson like antagonist who works at a newspaper. So
Okay.
and so they tried reprinting that series by IDW, but the $8 price tag and quarterly schedule didn't really do it any favor. So again, please.
Yeah.
Try reprinting it in the future.
Yeah, see what you can do with it. Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah. What else you got here now?
well, there's more I could go through, but we have. Oh, another thing I like are these literary reprints by Dark Horse by Bruno Edda and drawn by Fabio Saloni, which have a nice little gothic style to them.
Yeah, I remember you getting we got these in for you, didn't we?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I ordered most of them every time, but I've got Dracula, Frankenstein, Moby Dick. Those are all the best looking ones.
Oh, okay.
And the translation on these are a bit iffy, but the artwork is just completely off the wall.
Wow, yeah.
Definitely belongs more to horror comic. And I don't know who's going to be continuing them now that Dark Horse is ready to kick the bucket, but I'm happy to see more in the future because there's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or rather Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse that I'd love to see in English sometime in the future.
Yeah, I like the. Yeah, you can really tell the. Jeez, this one almost has a Frank Brunner feel to it, right?
Yeah. Just so you know, got folks, Frank Butter was the original Howard the Duck artist and my personal favorite.
Yeah.
Much as I like Colin.
Yeah. It was funny, Colin doing it. Like I said, I'm still a huge fan of Brunner, but I still like Colin. He was.
Yeah.
But it's strange that he was able to do that at the same time he was doing Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Never a big Val Eric fan, so.
Okay.
Okay, we're at the 25-minute mark, so.
Let's see, anything else? Well, we did have a look at.
Let's see. So,
Well, these, I guess we can just show these. This is of course, the Karl Barks.
Yep, good stuff. There's. Not sure. Let's see.
Would you say
18 volumes in this series so far, so they're getting through the halfway point. So hopefully they'll be done by 2035 if print is still around and humanity's still around.
Yeah, and if I'm still around, it's just like, please, come on, right?
Yeah, but I've always liked. Again, everybody unanimously agrees Karl Barks was the best guy, the good duck artist.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer his domestic chaos stories or his adventure ones. But
Yeah.
he was just a guy doing a simple job. He didn't think of it much more than a job, but his stuff gets analyzed by universities overseas. So,
would you say who's your favorite? I know it's hard to. It's one
hard
of those
to
questions that's.
Well, it's always going to be Barks for ducks and Gottfredson for the mice.
Yeah.
Rosa I love equally, but I think he's the better artist.
Yeah.
And I do prefer him as an adventure guy.
Yeah.
But his amount of work was pretty limited because
Yeah.
he did so much detail and he had to retire early due to eye troubles and royalties and Disney censorship and what have you. And
Yeah.
I certainly like to meet him. He's gets a lot of attention at overseas conventions, but never in American ones.
Yeah, that's the thing with I mean, you go to Italy or something like that, and they're lined up around the block, and he comes here. No, well, not here, which would be cool, but then it'd be just me and you, and maybe one or two other people there. But comes to America, and there's it's crickets, right? It's just like people. It's like in The Simpsons. This man has actually gone to space, right? Pointing at Neil Armstrong. It's that type of feeling. This guy is one of the duck geniuses, right?
I always like that little sign he has at his tables. No, I didn't create DuckTales. Stop asking me.
Yeah.
Okay, near the 28 minutes now.
Yeah. Well, we're closing in, and we got about a minute left here. But now we talked about how much we were going to talk about, and of course, we've just barely scratched the surface in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
so,
I'd like to discuss more of Floyd Gottfredson's Mickey Mouse next time for the next episode.
So we will have Sam back for another episode because this is I like the give and take and the love of Disney and all that, right?
Oh yes.
So we'll pretty soon I'd say maybe in a couple of weeks we'll have it back and we'll do some Mickey.
All right.
Okay, well, with that, I'm going to do the old exit here. Well, now, I will be doing one of my, an episode tomorrow, a normal episode, with the new comics, just to let you know.
That's good. Things going to summon demons to peel our skin off, isn't it?
No, yes.
You idiot.